Hi everyone, my name is Sammy, and today I'm going to be talking about something very specific of the 5-1 profile. As I mentioned in my previous video, I am doing a few videos on being a 5-1, and I'm open if people want to ask me more questions in the comments of things that they're wanting to know specifically about this profile. Of course, you're always welcome to as well about anything about projectors or the emotional waves, if you're an emotional authority as well. I am a 5-1 emotional projector, so those are things that not just the extensive knowledge I have in human design, but I've also experienced, and I do believe that it is important that a lot of the things I talked on here I am not just knowledgeable in, but experienced or expressed in some way in my life, because I believe that a lot of teaching that is super beautiful are things I relate to, or when people have also been in that vulnerable state or also have gone through kind of a similar experience. I mean, we're human beings, we're creatures of habit, we're creatures of people that can relate to us on these levels, and it's beautiful to have that kind of way to even share this, and I feel so privileged and honored to do that. So today I want to talk about, again, specifically this is going to be for the 5-1 profile, but I want to talk about like the projection field that everyone talks about and what that really is like. So I am also a projector, so I feel like I live doubly in the projection field. Just like sometimes, like, there are certain people that, I won't lie, there are certain people that I genuinely believe when they meet me, they don't see anything but the mirror that is in front of me, that's basically just a karmic mirror to who they are, and they either love me or they don't like me at all, because I don't say anything that is practical, enticing, seducing, and not seducing in the way you're thinking, but seducing in the sense of it's a seductive aura, the 5-1 can be. And so if you don't say that right away, a lot of the times you can put someone off without really even doing anything at all. Nothing on the 5-1's part could have been made differently. It's just a matter of realizing that, you're not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, because you actually have more power that way. You'll actually find that you get more done. You find that you're actually free of this feeling of needing to be perfect, which 5-1s can so often feel, that they have to be this perfect person. So when you're kind of like actually release that and allow yourself to just be you, then the right people that are actually there to come into your life will come into your life, and that can be on a bigger scale, just like what you want to do in your business, or it can be something personal or small as well. I mean, we're not just 5-1s, have to meet certain people in their lifetime for things to happen, and so I've always looked at that as a very beautiful thing, because it makes me very optimistic. And yeah, even though I might have to meet some people that maybe those lessons aren't fun, or maybe I have to teach them something, and that might not be the greatest time, and it might not always be positive, but think about how beautiful it is at the same time in humanity, in the smallest sense of, not the smallest, but actually the biggest sense of what it is just, people meeting paths and just creating this karmic, beautiful thing. And it's just, it's kind of, I don't know, I just think it's kind of cool, because I think it's interesting to know that anytime I feel low, or anytime I feel, who are these people I have to meet, I feel like there's all these questions, but the questions don't really need to be answered, if that makes sense. But anyways, I'll move on from that, because I'm going on a rant, and I'm sorry. I get really passionate about things, but sorry, my dog wants to eat in the middle of my YouTube video. Callie, come here. Come be supportive. Alright, sorry about that interruption. Just think of it as like an ad, but instead it's not an ad, it's just me rudely interrupting this video to do that. But I'm also not going to probably change it, because that seems like a lot of work. Not that I don't want to put work into it, but not that kind of work, because you have to see the realness of this is what it's like to be a 5-1 emotional protector. This is me. I can't help it. So anyways, your 5-1 profile is going to have what is best described as going up to someone and having like a mirror just standing towards them, right? And they're seeing themselves, so they're seeing in you themselves, and that's where like the aura comes in, like when they say the projection aura, or that you're in the projection field, it's like they're seeing themselves. And so if you're saying something, so say you're coming up to me and you're asking me for a business solution that I can give you, or you're asking me like, okay, well, what about, a human design reading, and you're trying to get information from me about what I do. That's something that I can easily give you a practical solution to, give you something to follow. That's easy. I have that. And so if that's something that you wanted and that's what you came there for, then that's going to be enticing to you to then work with me. Of course, obviously, I don't mean anything by what I said. Like, I'm not trying to tell you to come work with me or anything like that. I just was using that as an example. You're welcome to look at my page if you would like to. But I wanted to say that, so if they're looking in the mirror and they're seeing that, then they're going to instantly think, okay, this person has the answers. And I want to make it clear that, like, the reason that I offer the human design readings is because I can give you the answers that you're looking for the most part, depending on, specifically what you're looking for. If it's something crazy detailed, I might not know, but I'm most of the time willing to put in that effort, to figure it out, because it's, it's my job and I love doing it, and it makes me so happy. And so, that's a perfect wheelhouse for me, because I'm able to give practical solutions, I'm able to give answers, and I'm able to really help in that area. But if someone came up to me and was like, this is going to be a little bit of a different example, but a karmic mirror, and say I pointed out something, but it wasn't like, it might have been even a joke or something, and it rubbed him the wrong way because of insecurities he felt within himself or herself, whatever, whoever it might be. We could be complete strangers, but she would just instantly probably feel like, well, I'm gonna go tell everyone that this person is not very inviting, or anything that they possibly could think of in that moment of what you did wrong. Or like, if they came to you for a solution and you did not give him that solution, and a lot of the times it's to a ridiculous degree, might I add, especially at the beginning, if you haven't even agreed to anything, this is where like the most ridiculous like requests come from, and you're just like, what is happening right now? Like, I'm not a mad scientist. I don't know. Why are you asking me to do this equation for you? But my point is just like, it's their own stuff. They're seeing themselves. And so by seeing themselves, they're seeing and they're angry at themselves. But because they're not 5-1, and because this is speaking to projectors, if you're a 5-1 projector, this is going to get amplified to a degree that is not going to be comfortable sometimes. And I am sorry for that. And like, I do understand what that feels like, where you're just like, what is happening? And I have, the channel 25 to 51, or 51 to 25, whatever. And so I already feel like shock from things. And so that like always is like, I'm always just like on the lookout for the next like person who's just going to shock me and be like, what's going on? Like, maybe in a good way. I don't know. But that kind of plays into it a little bit, because sometimes it can be just shocking, like what people expected you to do for them, or what people ask of you, because you're just like, I don't know, like, I'm not a superhero. But you have to understand that when they look at you and they like what you're saying to them, then if you don't set those boundaries or those intentions of exactly what that means for what you could give them or what you're able to give them, they are not going to stop pulling things out of you. They're not going to stop until you set a boundary. They won't. And it could just be a 5-1 emotional projector thing, but that never works out really that well. So that's why, like, anytime, people want to know stuff, even about human design, like, I will always give them, like, a resource or something to go to and whatever, and reach back to them when I can. But, after 3 or 4 questions, at some point I have to say, like, and I mean this in the kindest way possible. I really don't mean to offend anyone by saying this, but, like, that, okay, well, you can get these resources here, or, book a reading, because if I did that for every single person that ever asked, then I'm going to just be burning myself out. And it's about, having value in myself no matter what anyone else thinks, because I could be out all day and have just like a karmic mirror up to any stranger that's coming in my aura, and it could just be all just, I could just be, I don't know, just sending out the karmic stuff that they needed to learn, and it might not be a good one. Like, it might not be something that they enjoy. And so because of that, you can get intense reactions from certain people. And honestly, a lot of the times I have been lucky enough to at least know, for most people, like where that was going to go either way. However, be very careful in relationships, be very careful in your friendships. And I'm not saying this is happening to anyone or accusing anything, but just be careful, because that is actually where I really struggled to set the right boundaries and got taken advantage of the most in, was people that were super close to me. Prior to me, like, being aware of this and going kind of on that spiritual journey, and this was a few years ago, but yeah, I mean, it really, really made a lot of sense in my mind as to, like, okay, when you stand in your power and you stand in your truth, and a lot of the times it was throughout my spiritual journey, that the people that were really not there for the right intentions, or the friends or the relationships I had were not good, very clearly showed themselves as I stood in my power. So in those moments, it can be kind of scary, and you can think to yourself, well, maybe I'm being, I'm overthinking this, and that can be easy to do, especially when you start human design. But you're not. And in fact, you're actually just owning who you are, and you're owning the power that you've always had. And some people aren't going to like that, especially if that's not the version of you that they saw prior to that. But that doesn't mean that you should stop. It means that you should keep going and be in love with yourself. Because if I've learned anything about being a 5/1 profile, it's that you have to love yourself unconditionally to a degree that is like so unfathomable that nobody in the world could take that away from you. Nobody in the world could take the relationship that I have with myself away from me. The only person that can do that is me. I'm the only person that has the power to hurt me, because I choose to love myself first and then love others. And if I don't love myself, I'm unable to love others in the way that I choose to use my gift on this earth and what I believe that I am here to do. So much of this is also about intention, and having intention for yourself, to love yourself. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Like, if you are a 5/1 profile, first of all, I love you, and I'm giving you so much love right now, and I'm sending every single one of you love. But, like, be kind to yourself. Be loving. Be gentle. Because you are a beautiful soul, but you deserve to be kind and fragile to yourself, because everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves vulnerability, even within themselves. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but we don't think about that much. We always think about other people, or like, well, how other people perceive us, because as a 5/1, we've had all these expectations on us our whole life. But in reality, it's the expectations that you have for yourself, and those things that you set for yourself, and choosing to not cross boundaries that would separate that love that you have for yourself and hold yourself to that standard, so that you can love the right people and love and give the gifts that you have. That is how you help people. That is how you help yourself, but that is also how you help the right people. That's the crazy thing. It's like, you don't have to choose. Like, there's not a choice here. Like, the greatest part is that you get to love yourself, and in return, you get to use that gift to love the world and the people that you're here to share that with. So I think it's pretty amazing. And I love all you 5/1 people out there. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I'm happy to make more videos. I really enjoy talking about the 5/1 profile, which probably is, my ego just really kicking into gear there by saying that. So cheers to having that defined as well. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful, and all right, bye guys.